Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best, and we are here to go over 90 Day Fiance. Please let me know if you guys can hear me, because I was having some slight audio issues, but let me know if you guys can hear me. We're here to go over Season 12, Episode 9, appropriately titled Actions Speak Louder Than Words. These couples are a hot mess, y'all. They are literally a hot mess. But let's get into the comments and say hello to all the fabulous people who are here. Hello, Shani. James does not watch 90 Day Fiance. He just likes before the 90 days. But I will tell him you said hello. But thank you for being here. You are the first. She usually is the first. I appreciate you, Shani. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. She talking about a prenup. That's where I'm at. Oh, you're almost at the end. You're getting there. You're getting through. He told her she broke his heart. I think he wanted to call her a broke bee at that point. Oh, Lord. Yes, welcome to the channel, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am happy to be here. We're going to get into this season. I am not really feeling this season of 90 Day Fiance. But honestly, like, some seasons of 90 Day are great. Some seasons are not so great. It's just all of these couples, I don't feel like any of them will actually work out, if that makes sense. But yes, please like the video. Feel free to hype the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You are allowed to hype 3 creators each week. I hope that you consider me as one of them. This joint don't need to be 2 hours every week. Shani, it's so hard because I try to get the review out like the day after it airs, but it's really hard with 90 Day. That's why sometimes I do it on Tuesday, because it's like, where am I going to find 2 hours to watch this episode? Where am I going to find 2 hours? It takes time, but I still appreciate you for being here, even though you didn't finish. And shout out to the replay gang, all of those who watch us when we're no longer live. I do appreciate y'all. American Board 2 says she should have never told him about that accident money. Now he really wants her to help his family out. I actually agree with you. I really agree with you on that. I don't think you should tell anybody about your income unless you're married to them. Like, we don't need to know each other's money business. Like, what? American Board 2, yeah, because now he feels like she's gonna take care of him, give him money to send back to his family, all of the family, the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister, the uncle, the cousin. It's not her responsibility. And it's interesting because he keeps being like, Turkish culture, baby, the man is supposed to handle stuff. So why are you asking her for money? Rasit, Lord. I've only watched 1 full episode of this show. That was the first episode. I'll be trying to get through this, but I'd be bored sometimes, and it's 2 freaking hours. No, it is long. I wish they did 90 Day Fiance like they do 90 Day The Last Resort. Because The Last Resort, like, they'll give you like a 2-hour premiere the first episode, but then after that, it's just an hour. But 2 hours is crazy. I know they probably make a lot of money in like the commercials, like the ads and stuff. I'm sure they profit well from that. You feel like Thomas is an a-hole? He is. He's also entitled. Thomas and Paola are people who are making this show, to me, boring. Like, they bore me, and he throws like little tantrums. Something is off with Thomas. Something heavenly off. Thank you so much. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got to really set up my little streaming area. I'm going to get it through. I'm going to get it done one day. Hello, Oh So Best. Thank you. That is my husband. He's also a YouTuber as well and a artist. If you like music, tap into Oh So Best. Each couple does get worse. Each couple gets worse. Josh, she is in that bathroom. She brought it on her own self. She did. Shani, she did. I'm so tired of, what is her name? Katie? I'm so tired of her. My knees, I'm old. Not what's popping, my knees are old. Oh, Lord, he probably left the live. My husband has been watching the World Cup, and I guess America is playing somebody. I don't watch soccer. I don't really watch sports too much anymore, but he's very invested in the World Cup. But that is funny as hell. What's popping? My knees. They are greeting Brother Joe. They say hello to you, spousal unit, if you can hear me. Katie is a train wreck and maybe an alcoholic, allegedly. Okay. Allegedly. A lady came out and said it's all an act and she's been like this her whole life with no female friends. Huh. Interesting. Not the original Slam Pig. We're going to call her SP. That's actually catchy. You done gave her like a little rap name. I'm using that all the time. Right. SP. Slam Pig. Y'all, I'm over here putting comments. I didn't know the show had started. I had to refresh the computer. But at least it was updating you. At least it was updating you. That's all we really care about. That is all we really care about. The first couple that we are going to discuss for this episode is going to be Marissa and Edward. They have been having some troubles because Marissa has been kind of making it known that she doesn't respect Edward as a man. She doesn't respect Edward as an adult. And she feels like she's taken on a child versus a spouse. I think it's unfair for her to keep doing this just because he's only been in America for like a week or two. So I'm looking and I'm like, he's not even legally allowed to find a job. And you knew this when you decided to sponsor him with that K1 visa. So I just don't like that Marissa keeps complaining. I don't feel like she's a bad person. I just can kind of see why she is and was single. I can definitely see it. But they end up making a little bit of peace. She ends up going, because they've been in the car on the way to New York City. For those who don't remember, Marissa, when her kids are with their dad, she lives in Pennsylvania, but she commutes to New York. She has a small apartment in New York so that she could do her job out there. I think it's a smart setup. She's also able to, make the New York money and save just a little bit, get more bang for her buck. But they are headed to New York City. They see her apartment. It was a small apartment. I said, that's New York City. I know that apartment probably cost $1 kajillion, even though it was the size of my closet, which was crazy. But she gets a little attitude because Edward is fascinated with the fact that she has a motion censored trash can. I would be fascinated too. I know I'm 34 years old, but I would have been just like Edward, wax on, wax off, making sure this thing works. But they end up going out to dinner at a restaurant and they have a talk. I actually appreciated how Edward communicated with her. He didn't go off. He didn't crash out. You could tell he really thought about his words. And he explained when she asked him why he seems more down. He explains that he's aggravated because she's not acknowledged how difficult things are for him adjusting to a new country. And he doesn't like that she's been comparing him to a child. And he seemed extremely calm, but he also let her know that he feels like she has a problem when she doesn't have complete control. And he lets her know, like, I can handle things, but you have to give me time. Like, I just got here. And Marissa says to him that she cringes at the thought and the saying of him being able to handle things. Why are we cringing? Like, really? You cringe? He's telling you he wants to help and you're saying that you're going to cringe? Like, I don't understand that. Now, she says that she doesn't trust that he can become a strong man. And I was like, Marissa, you are literally tearing him down, not just as your partner, but as a man and as a person. Like, people can have value and are not less of adults just because they don't live life to the standard that you expect them to live it. Now, I do not think that this lady is like one of those rich women who's out of touch. The reason I don't think that is because she works with the public. And at the end of the day, she's dating a guy who worked in a hotel at one of the all-inclusive she was at on vacation. So I don't think she's like uppity and snooty, but I do think she cares about people's like thoughts. And I do think she can be a little bit aggressive and not really care of his opinion, which is probably things that help her be a great CEO, but that's not going to help you be a good spouse to anybody. And it seems like she's aware of it. Now, Edward explains again, he just got there and he's going to need time. And I appreciated him for not saying like, I'm going to get it together and fix it, because it's impossible. He can only do what he can do. But I was happy that Marissa at least admitted to being horrible toward Edward. She says that she's embarrassed for her behavior. And she does say that she behaved the way she behaved toward him out of fear of being like in a bad situation. And she says she's used to being like hyper independent. They did make peace and have makeup sex. He went with her to work the very next day, met everybody in the little say yes to the dress area. I don't know. I'm happy they made peace, but it's very hard to just change behaviors that you've had. And I feel like she was with this even with her ex-husband. I just want Marissa to be fair. Now, if he's in America for 6 months and he still doesn't have a job, then it's like, okay, something's wrong. But he legally cannot work. He has to get, I think, a permit or something for that as well. So it's like, give him a break, girlfriend. Give him a break before you never end up like these brides at your shop, please. Lord. American Born said that lady said she tried to. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh Lord, I can't get over how much younger her mother looks than her. Marissa needs to make an. Y'all. Now Marissa's mom did look good, but I feel like Marissa's doing bad makeup, and I don't think the hairstyle that she wears fits her face. I think that's all it is. I think she'd look better with an updo. I don't think blonde hair works on her, and she needs to stop wearing the pale, I want to look like a ghost foundation with like a bright red or bright pink lip. Like, she has to stop. I feel like it's makeup or the stress from her job. I don't know. So she took him to Manhattan. If she got work to do, she can just send him over to the east side and he'll find his whole Hispanic community. She don't know that, Shanny. You know she don't know that. Send him over to like 100 and something street and 3rd Avenue and he'll be fine. He don't even have to go all the way into the Dykeman area. Shanny said, I'm trying to tell you where to go. That's what he said. There are thousands of Dominicans there. Thank you. The trash can was cool. I thought the trash can was cool. A motion censored trash can. Not only is that cool, but like if you're OCD like me and don't like germs, it's cleaner because then you're not touching the trash can constantly. Hello. Yes, I would have been playing with the trash can too. Talking about these or not. The drones you're looking at. Oh, Lord. Listen, after what she found out about him, he is a bum and only latched on to her because she has money. You know what? What did she find out about him, though? What did she find out about him? Did I miss something in the episode? Please let me know, American Born. Please let me know. Shani has been saying this consistently. She does not think Edward is straight. I don't know. Edward and Mido do sometimes seem a little sweet, but I more so with Mido, I see it. Oh, Mido irritates me. She needs to try to get him a job off the books, but just don't tell the show or let it be seen on the show. Hello. Like anybody who lives in communities with people who have immigrated over or are dealing with citizenship, like you could work, you could find a way. Okay. He can't do that on camera, but Shani's right. And maybe if he goes to the neighborhoods where his community is, he'll probably figure it out. I absolutely agree with that, Shani. Uh-oh, it's not putting my comment up there. The internet has found out that Edward had the chance to come to the United States before, but the lady that he was going to come with before did not have a lot of money. That doesn't surprise me because he's a little too accepting of her behavior. He's a little too accepting of the behavior. Like, I'm just going to compare it to Pedro, who also came to be with Chantel for the Dominican Republic. Like, even though Pedro, when he first came over, didn't have a pot to piss in, didn't have a dollar to his name, he still was standing up to her family and stuff and was still telling Chantel how he felt about stuff. So I do think there's a difference. Like, if you with someone to be with someone, you just going to operate and be with them regardless of what, unless you're using them. So he probably wants a soft life than a surprise. She actually expects him to get a job. But get a job and enjoy the life that is there. Don't understand why you're complaining, Edward, but you know. Moving forward from Edward and Marissa, we are going to get into Rasit and Mallory next. Shani says, see, I'm bugging out. I thought Puerto Ricans and Dominicans were free to come here without no problem. Puerto Ricans are, because Puerto Rico is a territory of America. So they vote for the U.S. president like us. They have citizenship. They use the same currency as us. All of that. It is the Dominican Republic that is separate. You do have to apply for citizenship if you're coming from there. But Puerto Ricans are American citizens. They are American citizens. Okay. Let's see. I only know Shani because, why do I know that? I took American government like in college a couple years back. So that helped me know. The other reason I know is because Puerto Rico is one of few destinations that you can go by plane. That's technically out of the country, that you don't need a passport. I had to look up why years and years ago, and they were like, because it's part of America. I said, oh, they need to tell us that. Puerto Rico, Guam, we have a couple of territories, a couple of them. The orange man is keeping everyone out. He is. He definitely is. He definitely is. It's unfortunate. I don't know why it's taking so long for him to get to the room. But anywho, Rashid and Mallory have made peace because they compromised on a bidet. Instead of her spending $800 for a bidet, she spent $25 on Amazon to get the part that you can add to your toilet to make a bidet for you. I actually had a coworker, shout out to Annika, who did that when I was working in a psych ward. She was telling me, she was like, ever since I experienced one on vacation, I have to have a bidet. So she has one that she bought on Amazon, and it, like, you hook it up to your toilet and it does the same thing as a bidet would do. I said, that's kind of cool. So Mallory bought him one. He was still low-key complaining like this thing is cheap, but he used it. Apparently it went well. Thank you for the sound effects from the toilet, Rashid. But Rashid has a habit, a hobby, and also a way of making money, of having, like, turning her shed into like a little workshop. It looks like she's been spending a lot of money buying him wood and tools, going back and forth to Lowe's. And, you know, she talks to him about the cost of living in America. Again, how many times can you say to this man it's more expensive in America? He knows that. He just wants to push you into taking care of his family. Now, to be fair, he cannot work right now. But again, he can find other ways to get around not working so that he could still make money. But he explains to Mallory that, you know, he has what he has and he wants what he wants. And Mallory writes down all of their bills on a paper. I just want to say a $1,400 mortgage in California is not possible unless you have A1 credit. Okay. So I said, the fact that $1,400 and you got land in your house and all of that, good job, Mallory. But she showed him her bills for the month and included the stuff that he asked of her. And it amounted to a couple $1,000s. And she's like, listen, this is expensive. Now, I actually respect Mallory. Each week I like her more and more, even though I'm pretty bored by the season. But I like Mallory because Mallory doesn't try to attack him. At first, I was a little concerned about her because I was like, why would you have him move to Alabama in a more conservative area, knowing they have those ignorant standpoints and racism? But she does try to talk to Rashid and she does seem respectful. It just seems like he's never happy and expects her to pay for life. And I think she figured that out because she presented all of the bills to him. And then he was like, and then you got to add this because you send my family $150. Why am I sending your family money? I'm not with them. I'm not with them. There's nobody in my husband's family who could call me right now and ask for money that I'd ever consider giving it to outside of his mama. Like, there's no way that he should be so comfortable hearing the bills as she's trying to complain about how hard it is for her to cover them on her own. And you write in to add your family's money? What? Why is nobody in the family working, Rosh? What's going on? Like, I don't understand Rashid. I really don't understand him. But Mallory ain't dumb because as soon as he did that, she was like, well, I think we need to discuss a prenuptial agreement. And he's like, what is that? And she explains that a prenuptial agreement is an agreement that says that everything that we came into the marriage with is everything we leaving. Like, whatever I had, I'm leaving with. Whatever you had, you leaving with. We're not doing all of that. And he's like, no. He said, you break my heart with this. He said, in Turkey, you get divorced, everything's split down the middle. He said, this is weird. It's not weird. Welcome to America, sir. It's not weird. Welcome to America, okay? Let me tell you this. You up here and you don't give a damn that this lady is stressed out and barely affording the bills that she has. You have it in your mind that she's rich and should spend all of her settlement on you so that you're comfortable. And then y'all will have nothing to fall back on. And Mallory is smart because I wouldn't spend my settlement to buy him stuff that he don't need to be sending his family money. What happens if they don't work out? This, she don't have nothing to fall back on. She's smart. And that's why she is a homeowner at her young age and is doing okay. She's not as she said, she ain't rich. She don't work 2 jobs just for fun. Like, I cannot understand how someone could tell you something like that and you just don't care and add another bill. But Rasi, you have to realize you're not in Turkey anymore. You're going to have to find a way to compromise with Mallory. She's going to have to compromise on some things you like in your culture, just as she found a way to do by getting you the bidet that you wanted. But you need to compromise and also be willing to do something for her. Just because you came all the way from Turkey to live there does not mean that she has to cover everything. You got to pull your weight, Mr. Muslim man. That's in the culture and in the religion. So hopefully things get better with them. But let's look into the comments of what y'all saying, because Rosh irritated me for the first time this episode. I didn't realize she was buying him all these tools. Yes, I used to work at Home Depot years and years ago, like 10 years ago. It is expensive, like tools, tool boxes, hell, even screws. That stuff is not cheap. Not cheap at all. He told her she broke his heart. I think he wanted to call her a broke bitch at that point. He can't without calling himself that. They broke together. They are broke together. Oh my God. Now he feel like you're going to take care of him and give him money to send back to all of his family, his mom, his dad, his brother, his sister, his uncle, his play cousin, right? Everybody. He could build things and sell them on Facebook, but I heard he's doing TikTok all the time for money. At least he's doing something for money. Like, I'd rather you do something for money than nothing, if that makes sense. Like, something is always better than nothing. She got him with the hillbillies, and according to her, he's good with his hands and handy. She could find him a job off the books, fixing and applying little things here and there. Nobody got to know. I think he's doing okay. And that's why the point that American Born made about what they're saying on social media about Edward, I kind of believe, because Rosh is somebody who can't work either, because that's the standard when you're getting a visa. But Rosh has found a way to make money. And yes, the parts and stuff, you know, they cost money. However, at least he's willing to put some stuff together so somebody can buy it. Lord, help us. Mallory works 2 jobs. What more does he want? And it's not fair. And you know what's crazy? He's saying, well, in Turkey, how about the fact that in Turkey, the woman should not be working 2 jobs? How about that, Rosh? But you acknowledge your culture when it's convenient for you and when it's not for her. He ain't slick. Twin, get out my head, because I was about to ask the same thing. Why is nobody in his family over here in Turkey working? He tried to say it was something like a big earthquake. It sounds like they were misplaced due to a natural disaster. However, when Rosh was out there, he was working. It looked like he had a bunch of healthy uncles and stuff. So I don't understand why they're not sharing the load. Not understanding it at all. Right. It's not weird. It's America. We have post-nuptials, okay? You can marry her and she still be able to get a prenup, okay? Rosh gonna learn the hard way. Right. If he was so worried, why would he leave Turkey? A lot of these people seem like they're putting up with certain things so that their families could be okay. 90 Day Fiancés become extremely popular. So I am sure that, you know, Rosh shit is on my nerves. I thought they lost the house because of the earthquake, but does that mean that everybody can't go to work? They have a new place to live. It's just smaller, but they do have a new place to live, and they did lose their home from the earthquake, but they're now living somewhere else. They have somewhere to live. They can work. That's why I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm sure they do need some help. You know, like here in California, a lot of people, we have a huge Hispanic Latino population. A lot of people are here from like El Salvador, Chile, Panama, Paraguay. There's people in California, just any type of Hispanic, Latino, South American, they are here. They send money home all the time, right? I've had coworkers that do it, but they'll send like maybe 500 for the month or something for the month and leave it there, or a couple hundred. The families are still doing stuff, but I don't know what's going on with Rosh's family. Why doesn't he take the pay he gets from the show that they pay him for and send that over to his family? Ooh, Shani. Shani said, you ain't got an excuse, mother. Okay? Shani said, there is no reason you should not be sending this money, okay? I love that because that is true. They do get paid for being on the show. You better take $1 from your check and send that shit home. Don't come to me. I'm providing you with food, housing, and some water to spray you in the ass when you go poop. Okay? What more does he want from her? Lord. Before the orange man took over, there was billions of dollars flowing out of this country. Yeah. What is it? 2 more years, y'all? Or is it 2? I don't know. It feels like 17 years. Hopefully things get better. If you are still watching at this point, I do appreciate you. Shout out to the replay gang and those who watch us when we are no longer live. We do hope on your way in or out, you consider liking the video or hyping the video. It all does help, and I do appreciate it a whole bunch, beautiful people. We are going to get into Thomas and Paola next, the snooze fest. Except this week, Thomas and Paola were a little more interesting because they went to see his dad and his raggedy ass stepmama. And I didn't quite like the stepmom at all. I'm going to just let y'all know that off top. That stepmom was something else and did not understand her position. Now, Paola and Thomas, the last time we saw them, were arguing because he destroyed her property, threw a tantrum like a little bitch, glued her perfume shut. He's conveniently complains of COPD symptoms when he's not getting his way. But they find a way to make peace. She explains that Thomas is annoying. Well, I think Thomas is annoying and manipulative. Thomas is making everything that she's complaining about shopping and spending money. I said, how dare you do that when you just sent this lady a $25,000 card limit credit card? If you were so concerned about money being spent in shopping, you wouldn't have handed her a credit card. You've known that she likes to buy tiny things. You've known that she believes in manifestation. Now you are ignoring it. Like you're ignoring everything that she has asked, and it just annoys the crap out of me. He just really irks me. I cannot stand him. But essentially, Paola explains that she just wants to feel heard. He's trying to make it seem like, I mean, you're only going to be here for a couple days, so why are you complaining about a closet? And I'm like, you manipulative little bitch. She's complaining because she's not there just to visit. She's there to live with you and get married. So why are you doing this and making it seem difficult? Then he says to her, you were abusive in what you were asking of me. Manipulative, melanin redacted, colorless activity. Because what? You're not making any sense, Thomas. You're not making any sense. You just want to win in the argument. You're not even making no sense. Now, Paola's manifestations do seem like a lot, but I just feel like he wants stuff his way. Like, why can't you get a freaking table? If you want to sit on the floor and eat, you sit on the floor and eat, but at least buy a homegirl a desk or something that she can have of her own. Or if I was Paola, I would be looking for a way to become financially independent. And then saying, we're moving. We're going to get a spot that works for both of us so that you don't control it. Because I feel like Thomas is controlling. And a part of me feels like that's what he's trying to do. But he's like pushing her away. I'm just really upset at him for trying to destroy her property. Like, I'm sure if she were to put glue into anything that belonged to him, he would be so upset. He just seems like the things that he dishes out, he can't take. But Paola is super mature and she seems super kind and patient. But they do make peace. He eventually gives her a hug when she explains she's struggling and he hurt her feelings. But I want her to go back to Brazil. I have said this. I feel like they should have done 90 Day the other way. And Thomas should have moved to Brazil to be with her because she had a business, employees, beautiful apartment, lived in a central area in the city. Like, why does she have to come to you in LA to be controlled and nitpicked and all of this? It didn't make any sense. However, they're discussing things because they're going to have to plan their wedding soon. And they go to see the Queen Mary in Los Angeles. It's just a replica of the Titanic. And he has concerns about the family, Paola does, because apparently Thomas's stepmom did not like the fact that Paola bonded with Thomas's biological mother, who participated in his life and his upbringing. It sounds like the stepmom just got a problem with the other wife, which makes me think, stepmom, what did you do? But Paola doesn't want to go into a marriage with any issues with the family, which is the right thing to do. It shows that she cares. So they end up getting on a flight to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. That is where James is at, y'all. But they go to Charlotte, North Carolina to visit his family, who lives and runs a farm. And the stepmom was very rude to Paola the whole time. The dad was like, Paola seems to want Thomas to be close to the family. Paola is supportive of the family, and Thomas seems happy. And the stepmom is like, well, I don't know if we're that close. Bitch, you ain't even fully part of the family. Okay? You just married on. Like, please stop. This is not your child. And the fact that you are mad at this woman for getting to know his mother, did you think she was going to prioritize you, the step parent, over the actual parent? No. And she's still very polite to you. And then the stepmama ain't shit because she was smiling in Paola's face and then talking crap. Oh, so that's what you wore to a farm? Bitch, not everybody knows about a farm. Not everybody knows about a farm. I want to know what's wrong with the stepmom and why the dad is a simp and just stood there and allowed this lady to disrespect Paola. The stepmom is either racist or some other shit going on with the family, but I need her to give Paola a shot. Like, because Paola does seem sweet and very accepting, but that stepmom about to work my nerves. I'm going to be struggling to watch my mouth the next few reviews because she does way too much. Shani asks, what is COPD? It's like a lung disease. I know it impacts the lungs. It makes it hard to breathe. Something a lot of people with COPD deal with a lot is inflammation. It makes it very difficult. They get inflamed around their organs and their insides and things like that. I have a client, I had a client at a previous job who had COPD. And it seemed to be a lot. Some people can keep their symptoms and things under control. And as some people struggle, it's really sad when people are struggling because they get sick and it sucks to not be able to like breathe. But from my understanding, it's a lung disease. I'm not a doctor. I only know that because I do work in healthcare and social services. So that's why I know I have a lot of clients that have been diagnosed with it. It's more common than we think. Shani says, Thomas, you need to be happy and on your knees that this beautiful Hispanic woman wants to be with your cornball ass. Say it louder, Shani. Say it louder. Because I agree. Looks like AB does too. He could rent a 2-bedroom so that she could have more room. He ain't gonna do that. He won't control. That man wants control of Paola. I feel like her independence and confidence intimidates him. I don't know why, but I do feel that way. If I were her, hey, Vibe, if I were her, I'd go back to Brazil and let him come live with me. She'd feel way better. Yes, I agree with that. I've been saying that for weeks. Like, they should have done 90 Day the other way, and he should have went to her. But I don't think he would be ready to give up American culture. And if he was raised on a farm in North Carolina by that lady, he may not be so willing or think that America is the greatest country on earth when we're not. But, you know, I digress. Vibex says, Thomas is giving me typical Thomas energy. His attitude, it is exhausting. And it's like, I don't even dislike Thomas. He just reminds me of a crybaby bitch a little bit. Like a little kid that's been spoiled and has everything and just throws a fit when they're not getting their way. That is what Thomas gives me. But I don't think he's like a bad person. I do think he cares for Paola, but I think he thought that it would be easier for him to control her than it is. The stepmom has her own issues to work through before judging anybody else. Just saying. Preach. Now she's a Karen. She does give Karen. Instead of worrying about Paola, you need to be asking Paola to help you because the stepmom came on TV looking all sorts crazy. My goodness. Shani said, just want to point at him and say, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby. Exactly. Thomas is constantly crying about something. He's a whiner. But then she's not allowed to even have an emotion. I feel like it takes a lot for Paola to cry, and he probably just drove her insane. That's what it's giving. The next people we're going to get into is Katie and Josh. Anybody's a fan of Katie should probably leave. I'm going straight to hell, to the basement of hell, as my good sis Kiwan JTV would say. I cannot stand Katie. I do not understand why Katie was cast. I'm starting to not like Josh because at what point do you stop allowing yourself to be walked over like this? I don't like much of what's happening with Katie and Josh. She got real drunk at her little bar event. She invited a guy that she used to sleep with that Josh has explicitly said he does not want Katie around. Josh and the dude made peace, him and Mark, but Katie was trying to lick Mark's hands, was tongue kissing his fingers and all sorts of crazy stuff. And we see the morning after. She is hung over, throwing up, mic'd up. We heard all of the chunks of vomit coming out of her and going into her toilet. And she comes out and she says, hey, yeah, so can you like go over last night for me? I can't remember. This is like the 4th time that this lady has said since being just on this season that she does not remember something. As a woman, it is super irresponsible and dangerous to get so drunk that you cannot remember. I can count on one hand the number of times I've gotten so lit that I can't remember and have fingers left. Like the fact that Katie is just often drinking to where she cannot remember me, that's alcohol abuse. I don't care what no one says. I will not say that she is an alcoholic because I don't know this lady. But based on what I've seen on this show, she is not drinking responsibly like the commercials be telling us to do. She's just not. And I feel like she does remember and just wants to see what someone else remembers to see what she can get away with. I feel like Katie's manipulative. I think the OCD stuff, I do think she has it, but I don't think it impacts her at all with the kissing. I think Katie's full of shit. She's nasty, she's dirty, and she might be full of shit. I've not been this grossed out by anyone on TV in a very long time, but I just feel like you're playing a game with this guy. I don't like it. But then honestly, Josh, I'm looking at you side-eye too, because why are you willing to deal with all of this? Like you cashed in your shares, so you didn't have to move to the US, but I'm like, is there benefit in you moving to the US? Because it's very strange that you're putting up with this behavior. Even the guy you were worried about your girl cheating on you with told you to grow a pair and to not accept the behavior from her. So do that, please. But he lets her know what's going on, and he explains that she was kissing Mark right in front of him. And then he also says, Mark didn't even want to kiss you. And instead of being concerned about betraying her boyfriend, aka fiance she's supposed to marry, she was like, oh no, I hope I didn't cross his boundaries. Bitch. Even Josh was like, what about my boundaries? I want you to care. But Katie claims she's lost a lot of friends because of the stuff that she does and says when she's drunk. If you know that, then why are you still drinking? It's like we're discussing Danny from the Valley again. If you know that bad things happen when you drink and that you disrespect people, problems happen, or just you don't remember, then why do you keep drinking? I just don't understand. I genuinely don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. And a person, like when what was this? Last year, I went to a tour. I think it was the Millennium Tour with my friend Melita. Shout out to her. That's my good friend. But I went out with her. Me and her are not drinkers at all, but we felt like we had to finish a bottle of tequila. I was so drunk. I ain't drank. Really, people are like, Amina don't really drink no more. Like most people, if you get drunk and something negative happens, you're going to drink a little less next time if you continue to drink it all. So the fact Katie keeps doing this just tells us she has a problem. They don't really get anywhere. She was more concerned about losing friends and crossing Mark's boundaries than her fiance. I'm just trying to understand why Josh is so patient, if I'm being honest with y'all. But that's all that happened with them this week. Because obviously 90 Day didn't have much for Katie and Josh this week. She was probably throwing up half of the time they were there that day for filming. Shani says, still watching this show during your review, and that's where I'm up to. Josh and the SP. The slam pig is SP, y'all. Josh, that SP is not good enough for you. She's not prepared to be. She got to do better for herself before she could think about being in anybody's life as a friend, a wife, or anything. She needs to call one of them rehabs. It seems like SP is doing all of this to get Josh to break up with her because she's too much of a coward to do it herself. Huh. You know, Shani, that's a good point. And she does always talk about how she's a little nervous about having someone in her space. And she says she's like a nomad. So I'm sure she's going to like want to travel and, you know, do jobs in a way that she was doing them before he was around. But if I say to Mr. Best right now, hey, I got a job as a pet sitter, but I'm going to be in London for 4 months. No, you can't come. It's probably not going to work out well. So I don't think Katie and him will work, but apparently in the real time, they have their marriage license. I had saw something about that on Facebook. Well, he is running from something. They got married. Yes, there we go. They did get married. He's running from something because he cashed in his shares and left the country. And you want Katie? Love ain't that strong, y'all. Oh, Vivek says Josh needs help too. At this point, he should just go back to England and move on. He won't go back to England. I agree with American Born. I think he's running from something. And he is just as stupid as her, Shani. He is. I said from the first look, no, OCD shows in different ways. I actually have OCD. I have been diagnosed with it. Now, it shows in different forms, and it also can be intense. It can be not intense, but I think Katie is full of shit. I do. I really think she's full of shit. Not the bootleg, though. Brother Joe Brother Joe would tell you, what the are you talking about, Willis? Lord. Yes, and she is lying about the OCD. The lady who knows her said she only ever had anxiety. She gives more ADHD. And, you know, I can believe that she might be lying about the OCD just because something you commonly see when you study OCD or Google it is people like opening car doors, counting stuff. I feel like she does certain stuff just to BS. And then if you look at her, came across Katie's social media. She seemed regular to me. I think she's just either she's putting on an act for the show or she really tried to get him away from her. But we are going to get into the person with the worst wig on TV right now, aka Ashia and Maxwell. Ashia really disappointed me. I feel like she played with God, blasphemy. I do. I'm not doubting that she's a Christian, but I feel like she used her faith as a storyline versus something that's spiritual or something to lean on. I think that's irresponsible to do. I just do. It kind of disgusts me. But she's been in Nigeria with Maxwell, and they've been having some problems because she's mad disrespectful and talks to him like he is her subordinate versus like she is the partner. And in African culture, that don't work. And, you know, they go to a restaurant and he's upset that she's not submitting in the way that he would like. And she refuses to apologize to him. I said, oh, y'all ain't gonna work. Right, American Born. I'm like, you thought you could control this lady? Now, I'm starting to see why Ashia is alone. Like, I can totally understand it. I don't know a man or a woman or a damn dog that would want to deal with this lady the way that she treats him. And I know that she's been going around and upset with content creators. I'm not saying this lady is a bad person, but she's definitely a hypocrite. She's definitely playing with the word. And she definitely should have glued her wig down before coming on national television. That's all. Or put some singles in like me, okay? Do something. Anything but what you've been doing. But what I see happening with this couple is Ashia claims that Maxwell is changing up and wanting her to be respectful and submit because they are around his family. She said that his family is in his ear. And I'm said, no, you're just ignoring cultural expectations. She kept telling Maxwell things aggressively, and it was not appropriate. She ended up leaving the table because she wasn't going to accept the fact that he was telling her, like, no, you're disrespecting me. She didn't want to hear it. She comes back to the table. And she's really just bothered because he made a comment about not knowing if they need to get married. If I was talking to somebody, met them in person, and they behaved like Ashia, I would say the same thing. He has a right to be unsure about marriage. Why would a man want to marry you if you are talking down to him? Like, I cannot understand. I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand it. I want to understand it. But Ashia doesn't seem to want to like admit any form of fault or anything like that, which kind of drove me crazy. But eventually her and Maxwell do make peace. He's like, listen, I do love you. I want to be with you, but you have to be respectful. I think with these two, the problem is cultural expectation and differences. Like, he wants her to conform to Nigerian culture and she wants him to conform to American culture. But baby, you all have to find a way to compromise and come together because both of your cultures are relevant. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I'm tired of seeing Ashia on our screens. I don't know why they casted her. They're going to be getting a spousal visa. So Ashia and Maxwell have decided they're going to get married while they are in Nigeria, so that if they apply for the K1 visa again, they're not declined and said to call it fraud. The problem is a spousal visa takes 2 years. So 90-day fiance, what the fuck we doing? What we doing? What we doing, blood? I need to know, because if she can't even apply for her visa until she's been like married or whatever for 2 years, or however it works, if it's going to take 2 years, why are they on my television screens? 90-Day Fiance, we're supposed to watch somebody go to America to be with their fiance and get married in 90 days. She's running around Africa looking at goats, getting in arguments with this man. So I'm not sure how they're going to work it out. Let me know what y'all think is going to happen, but I just don't like this lady and want her to glue her wig down. That's it, and that's all. That's all I want, Ashia. Shani said he thought he was going to control the lady that told the American government, oh no, you gonna let my future husband over here, and then she jumped on the plane to come and get you. I don't know why he thought that. Hey, Kiwan, welcome in, Miss Erica. You guys subscribe to Kiwan JTV. I don't know if she watches 90 Day Fiance, but she covers a lot of good shows. And on the 10th, she'll be having an interview with someone who participates in the show called Girls Need Love with Black Girls Den Podcast. So tap in and support a real one. Absolutely. I love to see it. Kiwan, haven't said anything to get put in the corner. Not y'all proud to tell Kiwan that you behaving. I could not. She says she never smashed that guy on James's comment. I seen her. Shout out to Ro from Heart and Hustle Houston. She left comments on Kiwan JTV and James's channel. I love that. I absolutely love that. That is the one thing about covering shows on OWN that is good about. I have noticed that the people on those shows are active with the right creators, which I love. I love that. So shout out to them. Also, there is a 10-year difference. You think maybe that's one of the reasons why she talked to him that way. 38 isn't like, she acting like she's an auntie. She don't need to be talking to nobody that way. Nobody that way. Kiwan, these couples on 90 Day are hot mess express, to say the least. Hot mess express. But we've been behaving, I think. You didn't walk on nothing too bad. Yes, but his family is livid now that they know they're her age. Yeah, in African culture, they view a 38-year-old woman, your eggs and your ovaries are old. They're going to be rushing you to have a baby because they fear menopause. The dad said that. He said, menopause it's sneaking up on you. I said, oh, sir. She walking around looking for the goat twin. Are they about to go to the same priest that Daniel... Y'all, I fought for my life covering before the 90 days. Daniel and Lisa were the show, okay? They were the absolute show. They stressed me out something vicious. They really did. Daniel and Lisa are a lot, y'all. They are actually a lot. The last couple we're going to discuss is nasty ass Shay. I don't know. Something about him grosses me out. I feel like if I were to see him at night in the dark, I'd be scared. I'd jump. But Shay and Annabelle is sick of Shay's shit. She is tired of the lies, who he's cheating on her with. Like, Shay has pretty much been acting single while acting like he's not single when he's talking to Annabelle, and she's figuring that out. He does decide to get rid of his ex-wife Nicole's stuff from the property because Annabelle was like, either you get rid of this shit or I'm going. Which one is it? And so he decided to keep keep his woman and get rid of Nicole's stuff, which was good. My thing is, you're only getting rid of the stuff hoping to shut her up, but it doesn't show that you're going to do the right thing. Because y'all know Shay be treating people like they ain't shit, especially the women. Like, he is a liar, a professional liar. But he does get rid of the stuff, and they end up having a talk, and she pretty much lets Shay know that she just wants boundaries, and she wants her boundaries to be respected. The biggest boundary she wants to be respected is the boundary that is his ex-wife. She said that she don't want them to talk unless they have to talk, which is realistic. Shay is saying it's impossible to not talk because they have a kid together. But sir, you don't need to talk to that bitch outside of your child. And that's what's been happening. That's what's been happening. But they end up going to the lake house that Shay has. They called it a lake house. That was a mobile home park on a lake, but it was still beautiful. But I'm just like, y'all made me think that we was going to see a big ass lake house, and it was not that. But they go to the lake house. This is the infamous lake house where Shay says, what happens at the lake stays at the lake, baby. Can't stand him. He just looked like his breath stank. But they get there. Annabelle's saying it's nice and, you know, things are okay. But his daughter Allison comes by. Now, Allison, I was for sure I would not be able to stand Allison, but she is checking her dad about his treatment of Annabelle. And Shay talked to Allison. He said, now, why would you tell her about Allison? Why are you telling her all my business? And he says, you almost caused us to get a divorce. And Allison said to her dad, no, that was you and your actions. You better act right. I said, that's right, Allison. Let your daddy know. Let your daddy know. But it was funny because Shay said, I mean, but we ain't married yet. I don't know if anybody caught that. Because Allison was like, well, you need to do right by this lady. He's like, I mean, we ain't married yet. What you mean you ain't married yet? She's not going to marry you if you don't get your shit in order. Figure it out. I don't understand. But episode ends with them having a lake party. And Shay was flirting with other women right in front of his girl. I swear to God, I wish Mr. Best would. And after I just finished The Polygamist, so I'm really on a I wish a nigga would type of energy. But like, you're flirting with other girls right in front of me. The disrespect is crazy. And Annabelle looks like she is over it. And she makes the comment, if this is the real you, I don't want it. I will go back to the Philippines. Because why wouldn't she? Why would she stay and be disrespected? Say what you want, but money is not everything. In fact, it's the root of all evil. So I appreciate Annabelle for being a person that's like, I don't need to be here. I'll go right back to my country. I don't need this. And shame on Shay. Like, why waste this lady's time and your time and all of that to have her come here just for you to act this way? Like, I don't understand it, but good job, Allison. I'm curious to see what else happens at this party because Annabelle looked like if he acted a little too crazy, she'll go upside his head. And I wouldn't be mad at her if she did. I would not be mad at her. Shani said, twin, you, Daniel, and Lisa got me watching this 90 Day Fiance shit. You know where I first got introduced to 90 Day Fiance was season 4. That was the season with Pedro, Chantel, and a bunch of others. And I've been hooked ever since. I've watched The Other Way. I've been watching 90 Day Diaries this season is okay. But, child, Lisa and Daniel, I think they gained a lot of new friends. Lisa has her a new Nigerian man. She needs to give Ashia points. She does. Ty. Shay is gross. That's why Annabelle is always scrubbing his ass down. I know she want to take him in the backyard and hose him down. She did hose him down in the Philippines. Oh, he does have a drinking problem. You could tell. You could tell. Like, you can just tell. How old is this child? Allison is an adult. She has her own kids. It's his adult daughter. Allison's probably 25 to 30. I don't remember her age, but at least she's telling her dad what's what. At least she's telling her dad what's what. Allison is trying to break them up. That's all. Yeah, she's just not trying to look as obvious with it, but I'm just glad she's telling Annabelle the truth because I actually really like Annabelle and I don't want her with Shay. Like, please don't get with Shay. Find you another. There are other handsome melanin redacted men in Kentucky, Annabelle. Okay, they may be country, but I promise they know how to wash their ass. Shay? Not so great. That belly of his shows he has a drinking problem. Oh, yeah, that's that sugary alcohol belly. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, Shani. Y'all, that was it for this recap of 90 Day Fiance. Shay has a younger daughter. He does with Nicole. That's the younger kid that he has to parent with Nicole. She's giving Annabelle all the info, but at least she ain't lying to her. As long as she don't lie. Because Annabelle would feel away if she stayed, married him, watched this on TV, and then she's stuck here. Like, I'm glad that the daughter is helping her to learn about stuff, like, before it gets to being too late. Happy about that. That is it for this review, you guys. I am going to be adding something to the lineup. Starting on July the 12th, I'll be covering Married at First Sight. James has said that he would like to join again, so it will be something that myself and James are covering, so be on the lookout for that. That does air on Peacock. I am also open to any suggestions for shows that you guys would like to see me cover. At the end of this month, I will start covering the Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I'm also considering covering the Real Housewives of London, but let me know if y'all are even interested in that, because I'm kind of over Housewives. Like, I've been watching this shit since high school. It's the same format. But I have a lot that I'm going to be adding to the roster. Tomorrow, we will go over 90 Day The Last Resort. I will do that review live. And on Wednesday, I'll have my $1 Million Nannies collaboration review out with me and James. Let me get what Shani is saying. That's a grown adult, not a child. You don't need to talk to that mother unless it's an emergency. Ooh, that is true. I need you to cover the Little People show. Which one? Which one? If you send me a link, I will totally cover it, Shani. I just may pull you up here with me for the first few episodes so I can understand. Is it the one on TLC, the African-American little person that's with the lady? Let me know which one, because there's a lot of those shows. I just don't know when they come on. I need the name of it, girl. Give me the name. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you give me the name, I will happily cover it for you. American Born said I've already watched the whole season of London and it's good. Did they put the whole season on Peacock? Should I not cover it? Am I behind? Am I late to the party? DM me and let me know. DM me and let me know. Keep on says Shani and her Little People. I know. Let me know, though. I'll be looking for things to add. I'll try and get some documentary reviews out there as well. Tap into Q1J TV's channel as well, you guys. Be sure to subscribe to James and the other creators in the description of the video. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope everybody... Oh, you watched it from another source. Also, America must be getting these women now. Okay. I'll look into it. I will look into it. I will definitely look into the Housewives of London. But I'm hoping it's... Listen, American Born, I'm trusting you because you say it's good. I trust you. Because my God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, you guys. I am going to go find food somewhere. But I hope everybody enjoys their night. Shout out to the replay gang and those watching. I hope you consider liking the video or hyping the video. And I will see all of you beautiful people next time. Good night.